I invite you to close your eyes and think about all of the past lives you have experienced. And even if it's just 10 past lives, think about what was happening on our planet and how much of that time you may have spent outside in nature. I think the further back we go in our past lives, the more time we have spent being exposed in the elements than being within a city environment. And so feel that connection with Gaia and how you have had so much intimate time connecting with Gaia and being in the elements than what you have not had. And when you cognize how much of a human of the earth you are, picture yourself in that favorite place within Gaia. And when you find that favorite place within Gaia, it could be in a forest, it could be by the ocean, could be on a mountain, whatever that favorite place for you is, allow that now to be the setting where we will hear the message from KRYON.
Greetings, dear ones. I am KRYON of Magnetic Service. There is no better place to be than that which has just been described. If you surround yourself on purpose with the love that comes from this planet, you can't help but feel the peace and the grounding that is there. It's a good place to start from, especially to cognize this channel. We have just described in a question and answer what I have meant by cognizing. And so, if you haven't been able to hear that question, I mean, to cognize something means it's a certainty. It cannot be changed. My partner says it is a word that does not exist in his language. It does in some others. Something that happens, that is a fact, that you know so well that it cannot be changed. And in this, dear ones, the light worker, the one who is learning to touch his soul, her soul, the one who is learning what peace truly means, that can be obtained at any time, that's the person who has cognized the love of Spirit in their life. The circle of 12 has been a time where we cross a bridge constantly into your soul. And through these programs, some have said, I'm now cognizing the fact that I have a soul and that I can go there at any time because now I realize it's mine to go to. These are the kinds of things we talk about when it comes to the changes that awareness brings. I would like to give you another thing to cognize. Dear ones, your awareness, your purpose here, and all of the things that you might be awakening to, what's it for? Now, this has multiple answers. And the one that you can pull first is the one that might be closest to you. It changes you. We have told you that those who become aware, especially of the attribute, the metaphor of light being your awareness, are starting to realize that it changes you. Now, this is a healing program, but the channelings are generic. And that is to say that they are listened to outside of the healing program. So we want to make you aware of some things. These layers that you could assign to your awakenings, to your enlightenment, are profound. This energy carries with it an attribute that it never has before. One of that incredible light attribute that you want to say is that it's actually changing the demographics of who is interested in light work. Did you hear that? My partner has been channeling for many, many years. And in that time, he knows the age groups of who is interested and who is not. And suddenly, since 2012, there has been a push toward many, many young people starting to look at themselves and ask the questions that in the past only the maturer ones would ask. What am I here for? Is there more than I was told? And they're motivating more and more to hear some of these kinds of things that I speak about. This purpose that we're looking at, why are you here? Number one, to find awareness, to be aware of who you are, truly who you are. You are a creature that has been made in love by the creative source, and you were made magnificent. That is who you are. And in that magnificence, you can start saying, what can I do that I was told I could not do? And there's so much there. And after you get through with that, there's more. Now, my partner just got through answering some questions and answers in the Circle of 12 experience. And since this channel is listened by many who are not part of that question and answer program, I will tell you. The question is, how can I make a difference to others? And the answer is to love them. And that is always the answer and always will be the answer. And it goes further than that. If you're becoming aware, and the metaphysics is disturbing perhaps some other people who think it's just a little too weird or wild or goes against what they have been told in their churches, there is no way that you can then justify yourself. There's no way you can defend yourself. There's no way you can tell them about this program or perhaps these channelings. Instead, dear ones, the only answer is to love them. And in that, you become something that we want to talk about, which is another layer. We return to a paradigm, a metaphor, an idea that is more true today than it ever was before. And here it is. You are the lighthouses of the earth. And that is what a lighthouse does. So let's look at that particular metaphor yet again, for it is so valid in so many ways, especially as a metaphor. Sometimes things fall apart metaphorically. This one does not. What does the lighthouse do? It stands alone on the rock, unshaken, because it's cognized, it's light, it's real. And its use is almost always in the dark. Have you got that? And so is yours. And it stands alone on the rock, and the light steers those around it into a safe harbor if they choose to look. So anyone who is navigating in the dark on an open sea has the choice to look or not at the lighthouse, which signals a safe passage. Now think about this. As the captain of the vessel steers to where the lighthouse says to go to, they don't particularly absorb the light. They don't necessarily become a lighthouse. Instead, they use the light to see better. And they congratulate the lighthouse. They love the lighthouse for helping them to navigate their lives better. And then the next time they're at sea, they look for more lighthouses because they know they work for them. And they know they need them because they're always in the dark. Dear ones, this is the world around you. There are so many in the dark. There are so many who feel night is here and they cannot get past what is happening to them or on the planet at the moment. And they're so confused and so fearful. And here you are, an aware light worker, and you don't try to convince them that they need to be a lighthouse. All you do is love them, and that is the light. That's the light that may steer them into a safe place. Eventually, they may ask you what you have that they would like. If they see something in you that is desirable, that they would love to have. Perhaps how you navigate your life, and it seems that you're so lucky and it has nothing to do with luck because you've learned to shine your light before you. If they want to know how, that's when you introduce them, perhaps, to some ideas, but not until then. And so the lighthouse is a generic light worker who doesn't then spread the light so that others will become lighthouses, but instead spreads love. This is not just an idea. This is your purpose. To be so confident and cognize what you have, that you know that by spreading that light, that love, that it'll make a change in your family, in your relationships, in your life, and eventually on the planet. Let me tell you something, there are enough of you right now. Even those listening to this, there are enough of you to make a difference in your town, in your city, in your family, and eventually on the planet. This starts to wake up to something it didn't expect, a higher consciousness, new paradigms. In lieu of much of what you believe is happening that is negative and fearful, I'll tell you, light is winning. You'll see. That's the message. It's always the message, but especially for you right now to hear. That's what you're about. Thanks to all those who hear this message, who are now young and ready to make a difference in their lives and the lives of others around them. This is the new energy. And so it is.